the other difference, again, with the rose and the dog, is that because we've got higher brain, because olfaction comes from the lower brain, the old brain, the one that we had and the one that a sheep has, and it's responsible for all of our automotive processes, you know, just the things that we don't even think about doing, that we need to do to keep living. We have a higher brain, which lower animals don't have, and these stimulate reward responses. The olfaction is the greatest input that we have, in a sense.
Yes, indeed.
For response environmental cues. These include danger, these include, I can smell this, should I eat it or not? And will it benefit me if I eat it, or will it make me sick if I eat it?
Yes. I've always been told that, well, it's generally understood that each individual perfume interacts in a unique way with our own scent. Is that true? And what's the actual physical process going on there?
On our bodies, we have around about 3 million what are called sudoriferous glands, and these glands excrete out certain pheromones, which are the scent responses to our body's hormones, but they also excrete out other salt products that are waste products, apart from perspiration, this is. But they also have the ability to exude certain residuals of things like spices. So somebody who has a high spiced diet is actually going to have some of those residual intact odorant compounds in their outer skin chemistry, whereas somebody, for instance, on a high milk or fat diet is actually going to have some of those characters within their emanations, so to speak, within their perspirations. And these are going to react different. It's always been traditional. I mean, to me, the traditional home, the ancient home of modern perfume is probably either India or India and Sri Lanka.
Right.
And which were, of course, once one when there wasn't as much water in the oceans. And it's traditional amongst people of India and Thailand also that the women choose floral perfumes. Now, they don't know the chemistry behind this or the reasons behind this. They just know that they prefer that. Now, they've already got a spice character in their body scent. So to use a spiced perfume is not what they require to get the pleasure of the perfume. And because of the makeup and the depth of olfaction in our physiology, scent is able to almost equal any other source of reward, and reward equals happy hormones, dopamines, you know, all of the feel-good. So,
well, all that feel-good sounds a long way from a lot of the kind of mass-produced ones that have success or otherwise in the department store shelves. How is it that a lot of the companies who obviously invest huge amounts in the research and development of new perfumes and then label them into a particular celebrity or other, how is it that they can get them so wrong?
The truth behind it all is that there are only about 4 main manufacturing perfume companies in the world. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter who the label it is. It doesn't matter whether it's Dior or Chanel or whoever. And in their precincts, they have literally hundreds and hundreds of organic chemists continually out to create new molecules. And when they get one that has an interesting scent, they very carefully log down how they made it and the process of manufacture of it, and then they put it in a vault, and then the legal department searches out to see whether anybody else owns a patent on it.
As soon as you get lawyers in, it's all downhill from there, isn't it, Simon?
And then exactly, and then if it's if there's no patent, then they'll hurry to take one up, and then it might become the source of the next new fad. Uh-huh. And within a month of it being out on the market, and they're very secretive about all this, because within a month or within possibly days of it being released to the market, its competitors will have it, do a mass spectrometry on it to get an analysis of it, and they will be doing their own versions of it. So they come in waves. And the celebrities are just bunnies. The celebrities have nothing to do with it.
No.
It's a marketing, right from word go, it's a marketing thing, and they've got a new chemical, they've made a new perfume. It's not going to be on the market for more than a few years, and then it'll never be heard of again.
And they just need someone to hook it to.
That's right, a face and an identity in which to unfortunately drop it onto a poor, unsuspecting public.
Yes, at great expense, because these things aren't cheap either.
And yet the reality again is that there's probably only a few dollars worth of ingredients in the bottle.
Goodness. Now, I believe that real perfume comes down to a series of stages that you call notes. Is that the terminology you use?
Yeah, there are basically... what it is that there are head notes, heart notes, and base notes. Now, these relate to the volatilities of different substances.
Music, Simon.
A lot of perfumers in the past have used the analogy of music, yes. But basically it comes down to the volatility. The higher the volatility, or the lower the evaporating or boiling temperature of the item, the faster it comes off when it reaches skin temperature. The higher the temperature, the slower it comes off. So you get ones that flash off very quickly, ones that then are the heart notes, which create the character of the perfume, and then the base notes, which are upon what's called dry down. They're the remainder, and they're the ones that hold the whole thing together. So
it sounds like there's quite a lot of psychology involved in this. I mean, the whole reason why, perfume is cited as an aphrodisiac really has a kind of a psychological base, isn't it? I mean, it's obviously some sense react to us on a primal level.
Oh, exactly. Because it's our primal sense,
interesting you say that, as going back to how you mentioned how it all starts in the womb. You really reckon it's our primal scent above sight or touch? Or
absolutely.
Yeah, okay.
Even the bacteria E. coli has in its outer membrane wall receptors which interface with its environment and detect phenols which will kill it, and glucose which is what it lives on. And when the bacteria receptors receive phenols, the bacteria curls itself up into a tight little ball and then begins this random tumbling action. When it detects glucose, which it lives on, it stretches itself out and develops this long flagellar-like swimming action. So and there's no point for a bacteria to be able to see or hear, but it must, if it's to survive, it must be able to in effect, smell, even though it's at a very simple level.
Simon, is your personal sense of smell a particularly heightened one, or is it average?
Well, I actually lost it for a couple of years altogether. And
really? How so?
That was just through a quirk of medicine, and to do with anaesthesia, and that was a very depressing 2 years, because we need our sense of smell.
Well, for a perfumer, I'd imagine it was very depressing.
It was, and even for an ordinary person it is. It's a source of major depression if somebody loses their sense of smell.
Yes.
And when somebody is severely depressed, the chances are they will also lose their sense of smell, as the two go hand in hand.
Good heavens.
And as far as my personal sense of smell, it's not bad, but when I actually got it back, there must have been a bit of rewiring that happened in my brain, and I actually came back for, and I still have it slightly, the ability to actually imagine scent, which we can't normally do. It's not normally part of the loop of olfaction to be able to imagine a scent. So I actually, even though I don't have the most acute sense of smell, I do have an added benefit on the side that I do have an imagination attached to it.
Because your grandfather, or was it your father, was a perfumer?
Grandfather, yes.
Your grandfather. So it's something in the genes, as it were.
Yeah, possibly so. Yeah, he was remarkable. He knew, even when I was the smallest of children, he knew what to put under my nose to make me smile. and that's primeval almost. He could choose any one of a plethora of things, because some things will make us smile. Some things instantly give us an ancient reward. Again, the rose, you can smell a synthetic rose and you're not going to see a smile on anybody's face. But when they smell the real thing, they almost invariably always smile.
Well, Simon, we're out of time, really. Thanks so much for your insight into what real perfume is about, and continue to find happiness and in what you do. It sounds a wonderful and exotic career indeed. And thanks for talking to us this afternoon.
Thanks very much, Michael.
Simon Dunks from Tete. What an interesting fellow. And who would have thought there was so much to the art of the perfumier? I suspected there was, actually. News time coming up at right now, 3 o'clock.